Alright, welcome. This is Idiot Dadz. I'm Miguel.
Hey, and I'm your idiot dad, Austin.
And we've got a special guest here today, Casey Cook from Carguments. And why don't you tell us a little bit about your show?
Carguments is a YouTube channel that I started. I wanted to review cars. I wanted to get into automotive journalism. And I reached out to a quite popular YouTube channel to see how he got his start. And he said he just did. So that's kind of what I'm doing right now, just getting started. You can search for me on YouTube as Carguments. You can find my website at carguments.net, and it'll pretty much get you everywhere from there. And I'm on Facebook as well. So, yeah, that's pretty much it.
And we'll put a link to Carguments on the description of the episode today. And how old are you, Casey?
32.
32 years old. And how many kids do you have? 2.
A boy and a girl.
Boy and a girl. All right. How old are they?
My daughter is 6, and my son is going to be 4 in December. So, I almost said 2, and I don't know why.
I was like, I don't remember how old you are.
You married?
Yes, married. Been married for 10 years.
Awesome. But you had, no issues ever in your life. You guys had, the most...
perfect marriage.
Suburban wedding, or...
Suburban wedding.
It was literally in a Suburban.
Yeah.
I was thinking of the TV show with the when they were all robots and they were all the perfect housewives.
Oh, you're talking about the Stepford Wives.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, we'll edit that.
Yeah. That explains it. Yeah.
Anyway, so you guys had no problems. You guys are probably the perfect couple ever, and.
No, everybody's had their issues. We've had our fair share, but we've worked our way through them.
Yeah.
Well, that kind of leads us in today to our subject. We're going to
Segue.
We're going to be talking about moms versus dads. So the idea here is that we've got a perfect little ensemble here with Austin, just about to be a dad, Casey here, who's got him and his wife and their 2 kids, and then me as a single dad. So we're going to kind of get the idea of different roles that mom and dads are supposed to play in raising children and what is expected of them and how each one of us see it.
I want to say when you were bringing that idea to me, I started doing some research okay, what are the statistics on moms and dad parenting? And then I crumple it up because I thought it's not necessarily what the world does. It's what we individuals here do.
Yeah.
Because I think that's what matters. I mean, you can get a statistic, but I don't think that's the point of this.
Oh, yeah. And once again, anyone who listens to this podcast, we have no idea what we're talking about. This is all entertainment purposes. Do not do anything that we suggest or what even we apply. So
it's mostly our experiences. Less of our advice.
Yeah, so just keep that in mind when you're listening to us.
But I do want to know, Austin, how long have you guys been married?
We're going on really close to 4 years.
4 years. Okay, I think my wife and I were at 4 years when she got pregnant.
Okay, I gotta ask.
We had a goal to wait 5 years because we knew we wanted kids eventually, but we had the goal to wait 5 years and go on a cruise before we had kids. And
because
we
the
did
plans
neither.
Work out so well. I mean, you were probably able to hit that square in the money.
No. So you can honestly blame that on her brother having an adorable daughter, so my niece. And she was such a cute little kid, and we wanted to have a kid of our own, and it kind of bumped things up.
I think that's true. I think I've met couples here that are just it's almost weird talking to them because they're almost protesting not to have kids. I mean, they're so anti having kids. It's just I don't know what I'm getting at, but it's just there's something about when you actually become, and these are people that are not either just got married or they just haven't got married yet.
Yeah.
But there's something when you fall in love with somebody and you get to know them, you want to know, what is that kid going to look like,
Yeah, there is a certain freeness, though, to not having kids, which, I love my kids to death, and I wouldn't ever take back my choice of having children, but there is that freedom that you do have afforded to you, if that's how you put it, when you don't have children. And I think some young couples enjoy that freedom. They don't want to give that up. And, in all seriousness with what we know, some people don't want to bring a child into the way things are today.
Oh man, there's so many articles and things I've read personally, and people everywhere, no matter what culture, religion, or belief you have, that there's too much chaos in the world, and some people do feel heavily of not wanting to do that.
And you also got to remember too, it's not just about how hard the world is, but I mean it's also like monetizing. You know, more times now the mom or the wife works, and that makes it hard for trying to actually raise a child and do all that. You know, some people are fortunate where they can have one parent live at home, but most of the time it's two people working, and then that requires a babysitter, that requires daycare and all that, which requires money, which then requires more working. So it kind of ends up being like, you know, the snake that eats its own tail, because you're trying so hard. And so some people are smart and just like, you know what, maybe now's not a good time to do that. I know for me, I have the most nonchalant. If I have a baby, I have a baby. If I don't, I don't. Whatever. I don't. You know.
I was a lot like that. Actually, before Danielle and I had a baby or were thinking about it, we had that same attitude, and almost like that secret, not even a like a subconscious thought, where you're just like, I kind of hope we do have a baby, but you know, to yourself, to your spouse, to the world, you're just like, you know what, we wouldn't be upset if it happens, or you know, we'll take it as it is. You know, if we don't have a kid, that's okay. If it happens by accident, we would be completely okay. And then it gets to a point where it's like, it's not gonna happen by accident.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of how it went. No, we went a different route. We knew we wanted to have a child, but we weren't telling people that we were trying to have a child, because that's just a weird way of telling people your personal life. Yeah.
Hey, my name's Austin. Nice to meet you, Casey.
I'm
We're clearly trying to get a baby in this.
So guess what I'm doing today? You know, that's what you're saying when you tell people you're trying to have a child. But
I get you what you're saying, though.
And I've met couples that are like that. They'll go all out. Oh, we're trying to have a baby and we're working really hard on it. And then that image comes into my head, and then I'm like, oh no, I don't want. Please, I don't need to know if you're pregnant. Yay! Well, okay. Well, that brings me up to my next question. So, how did you guys each find out that you guys were going to have a baby, and what was your reaction toward that?
I guess I'll start off. I was, at the time, we had just moved up here to Fort Wayne, and I was going back and forth to Indianapolis because the job I had, I worked in Indy and I worked some in Fort Wayne. And my wife called me at a Best Buy and told me she couldn't wait to tell me. So because I cleaned windows at the time, and my job, it only honestly was about 6 hours a day. So it was done about noon, and I had a lot of time to kill. And I was in really good shape at that time, which is kind of a bummer now because I had time to go to the gym. But
we'll talk about that. Don't worry.
So I was at Best Buy playing Wii Sports, playing ping pong. I got the phone.
How long have you been there?
I'd probably been there maybe 20 minutes. Okay. So she calls me, and I answer the phone while playing Wii Sports ping pong. And she tells me, and I pause the game, and I just go, I don't remember how it was said or what I said in return. But, you know, I knew we were trying to have a child, so I knew this was inevitable. But I just went and sat down. I found, like, a nice leather chair that they had in, like, the movie section. Did you
actually, like, pick the one you wanted to sit into out of, the three that are in display?
Oh, yeah. I just sat there.
Not this one.
And kind of leaned back and I was staring at the TV playing whatever movie, and obviously a salesman came up to me. He's like, can I help you? And I said, my wife just called me and told me she's pregnant, so I'm just going to sit here for a little bit. And he just was like, oh, okay. And he's like, I'll leave you to yourself.
I don't know how to handle this.
Yeah. Clearly you're not buying anything, so I'm going to walk away. And that's basically what happened.
That is awesome. Yeah. What about your second child?
Second child, man. Why don't I remember that? It's not as eventful of a story, I guess, you know, so I don't really remember when she told me that she was pregnant with Declan. Yeah, so
it was at the dinner. Oh, by the way, I'm pregnant again.
I might have to think about it while you tell your story.
Mine isn't super. Excuse me, it's not super an eventful story. I just remember I was at work. I mean, we were starting to try. Well, we have been trying for quite a year or two, maybe before then. We lost our first one within a month, and so we kept trying. But I was just at work. I just got a new job, thankfully, with a child. This job actually fits in with raising one. was sitting at my desk on the computer, and Danielle calls me, and I'm like, she never calls me at work anyway, so I'm just like, hello? I mean, is everything okay? And she's like, I can't wait to tell you. I took a test. I took like 5 more, and I think we're pregnant. And like, I don't even know how I got through work that day. I was just like, I don't know how I contained how excited I was. But I was just like, I went around to all these employees that I just met because I just started a job. I'm like, I'm going to be a dad. And they're just like, nice to meet you, but good for you.
Good for you, man.
Yeah. Wow, that's a good first impression you made there.
Yeah, no, they've been cool ever since, but yeah, no, that's how I found out. How about you, Miguel?
So I told you I was pretty nonchalant about the whole idea of being a dad. I was just like, oh, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. So we had just lost our apartment. We couldn't afford to live there anymore. So I was living in my parents' basement, and I was the only one working. I don't believe she was working at the time. And I came home one day, and she just not threw it, but it was like in a little plastic bag, and it was the pregnancy test. And I looked at it, and I was like, oh, cool. And I think I went back and watched Netflix, and then that was literally my reaction. I think it took about a month before I really oh, okay, I guess this is a real deal now. That was and that's my general attitude toward most things, is I'm just pretty much like, oh, okay, I guess we'll go through it. She's freaking out. She's like, how are we going to do this? I was like, well, we got the basement. I mean, it's a pretty nice basement. Mind you, there's no carpet on the floor. It's like concrete.
True.
And I'm like, well, I've got the big screen TV. I'm pretty happy. It's like, we got everything we need here. So then,
I like this place. The baby's going to like this place.
Oh, yeah.
Come on.
It didn't strike me until the in-laws got involved, and then we were getting a house, and it's like, oh, once again, so nonchalant. It's like, oh, if we find a house, we find a house, great, not whatever. And then of course we find the house, and I'm like, that's when it hit me. I was like, oh crap, now, all right, I got somebody in my that I've got to watch over and make sure they don't die. So this is gonna be great. So yeah, that was my first reaction.
Yeah, and honestly, I was thinking about it, and I think I just I could kind of tell Katie was pregnant with the second. So I think it was more...
Was there similar symptoms or something?
It was more just...
Did you dream about it the night before?
No, it wasn't dreams. There were just a few little things that I noticed, and I think I told her to get a test, and it came back positive. I think I'm remembering that correctly, and I know she's going to listen to this and be like, "Meow, meow."
Yeah. Well, she's not allowed.
Why do you make me sound that way?
Yeah.
Everybody's going to listen to this. All 3 people.
All 3 people. All her 3 likes that we got on YouTube.
I don't even know what I was going to say now.
So with the topic.
Oh yeah, so basically, how was Katie's reaction when she got pregnant? I mean, over the long term, because I guess that's kind of what we're talking about. We want to talk about how you reacted and then how she reacted to the baby. So what was her reaction in probably the next 5 months of it?
Well, I think one thing that I really like to stress to younger married couples is waiting to have a child, if you at all possible can, because she's going to go through a change. She's going to be a different woman when she's pregnant. She just is. Hormonally, she's going to be different.
They are.
And then after the baby, there's another hormonal change, and you have to kind of be prepared for that. And if you're a young couple, just newly married, that's huge right off the bat. It's so much strain on a marriage. And honestly, having children is a strain on your marriage. So, in the dad versus mom thing, that topic alone, I kind of want to put a key on thing. I don't really think there ever should be technically and truly a dad versus mom. It should be a team effort. Mm-hmm. And even if, later on when you're disciplining the child, if one of you does something that the other doesn't like, wait until after maybe the kids go to bed to hash that out. You don't ever want the children to see that dad versus mom type thing, because they will use that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It needs to be a united front.
So, not to get all preachy on everybody, but Katie and I think we there's never really been much of a dad versus mom, because when she was pregnant, we kind of talked about how we're going to want to handle certain situations like discipline and stuff like. I mean, that's stuff that you have to talk about, because
and you don't always agree on it.
You're not going to agree on it, because you have come from two separate families on how things were handled. Like, my parents disciplined me a certain way, and her parents disciplined me.
Were your parents ever divorced?
No, and her parents aren't. So she's got two separate families worth on her own side, and I just have the one. So you got to listen to each other and decide what way is going to work best. And Katie has been a stay-at-home mom pretty much since, I think, our daughter was 6 months old.
And would you ever recommend that if it's
yes,
possible?
Totally recommend it. Because we thought, okay, she's going to go to work. All the money that she's going to earn is going to go to childcare.
Amen, brother.
So, okay, that money is basically a wash. Why don't you just stay at home with the child?
Exactly. I mean...
And that's going to be a much better environment for your child anyways. And the time that Katie focused on Thailand is incredible how much... I mean, she was talking, I'm pretty sure, before 2. And we would go out and people were just astounded at that. So that time I don't think you can get from a daycare. You're not going to get that type of focus on your child.
Right.
And the bond.
Yeah, they're like splitting their time between like 20 kids.
Yeah. So do I think it's bad for kids? No. People have to do that. Mm-hmm. People have to work to pay for things. And we've thankfully been in a situation where it's been able to work out where she can stay at home. Now, she does work from home.
Yeah.
She does earn an income and she does help with that, but she's not going to work every day.
But if it's financially feasible, it's just like a why not? It would
exactly. Yeah.
It would help things more than anything else.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think it's funny. You were mentioning that before the kid was born, you guys had talks about how you discipline and do certain situations. My wife and I had this discussion the other day where I was telling her, I'm like, because I think we stopped at a local restaurant or something, like a fast food chain. And I was like, if we have a kid, or when we have our kid,
I was going to say.
And we're in the situation where he's like, I want to go somewhere else. And we'd be like, no, you're going to be happy with where we go, and maybe next time you can choose. And my wife was like, well, I don't think it's a big deal. If I want to go somewhere different, we should be able to go there. And if the kid wants to go somewhere different, and I was like, I don't agree with that.
You'll find, though, working as a family, as a family, it's all a team effort. It's truly, because you got to learn to pick your battles with kids. A story with that, we were at a little party, and our daughter is very high-strung, very strong personality, very smart, and so she's kind of intense, and picking your battles with her is something you have to do. We were at this party, she was running around like crazy, and we're trying to contain her. She started eating ants.
Oh,
okay. But she was still, she was quiet, and she wasn't getting into any trouble. In theory. In theory. So there was this other girl at this party who was completely grossed out by the fact that I was allowing my daughter to eat ants. And I told her, I was like, are the ants going to hurt her? No. It's not going to hurt her to just eat ants. And I was like, you have to learn when to fight and let them do what they're doing.
What are the ants they eat? That's not a bad thing. I mean,
it's not a bad. It's weird.
Some
people
eat them. People eat them.
A lot of people would be grossed out by that, and maybe it was a bad choice at the time, but at the time it was a good choice for me.
At a certain point, you're just like, you know what? She's not causing a problem.
Do you want to hear a kid can scream?
Where I'm going with that is, say you're going with your child somewhere to eat. You and your wife have agreed that you want to go here, but your child says, hey, I want to go here. Sometimes you'll be happier at the place the child wants to go. Now, yes, there is limits that you don't want the kid running your life.
Yeah.
Right? But there's some times where we ask our children where they want to go.
Yeah.
And there's other times they'll ask to go somewhere and we say no. I mean,
So
there's
what you're trying to tell me is you need to be balanced?
Yes. Yes.
Well, I've never heard of that before.
Well, see, I don't even have that problem because I'm the only one.
Yeah.
So my rule is law, and my daughter knows it.
And you know,
I don't have to discuss with anyone else. I don't have to worry. Like, I guess the closest thing I have to worry about is like my sister or my parents because they do help me a lot, and I guess my in-laws help me out a lot. But for the most part, like, they can give me all the opinions they want. I just ignore them and say, okay, we're going to do this.
Right. But do you ever let your daughter pick where you guys are going to go eat?
Oh, yeah. And it's the exact thing you're saying. Like, I have learned over the time, it's like, all right, if I say I want to go here, I know she's not going to want to. So let's just go wherever she says. And then that way, at least she feels like she's got a little bit of control.
She's a part of the family.
Yeah.
Right.
And then and then I started learning early on. My sister kind of had to kick that in my head. She's like, you do got to let her have like some say in certain things because, you know, so one of the things that I sort of let my daughter do, which most people kind of give me weird looks, but I'm like, but that's her thing, is I let her dress herself. She knows when she has to dress nice and she knows when she can dress just for fun. And she picks some odd things. I know Austin can definitely attest for that. But I allow her to do her hair the way
I just assume you dress her.
Dad's dressing her.
No, yeah, and she does. She looks like I dress her, but in all honesty, I'm letting her dress herself, and it gives her a little bit of freedom that I don't think she gets a lot of other times. And I let her choose the clothes that she wants as long as they're appropriate. I mean, obviously, I'm not going to let her wear short shorts or things like that because she's, you know, sometimes she outgrows certain things, but. Yeah, I mean, I just found it was easier, and I felt like for her, you know, as far as a person, that was like her way of identifying herself.
Right.
And it was her way, you know.
It's a part of, you know, our daughters are really close in age, and we let our daughter dress herself to a certain extent. Like you said, she'll come out of a room and be like, no, come on, go back in. You know, you can't wear shorts on a 30-degree day. And so there's boundaries, but you let them take that little bit of freedom. And they actually encourage that when they start kindergarten. They want them to start feeling that little bit of independence. And it's part of growth, and it's all that mumbo-jumbo.
Mm-hmm. Do you think when your kid turns, I guess 18, it's pretty common for them to still live at home. What if they were like 23?
We've kind of talked about that a little bit. Because my wife moved out like 18, she was out. And she had her reasons. And I moved out when I was 18. It wasn't right away, but I ended up moving back in with my parents. And then, you know, it just, I think it all depends on the situation. If you can tell your kid is mooching off you, then yeah, come on, let's move on. Like,
I think that's what you're saying is teaching a little bit of independence at a young age is good. I think sometimes you have that problem where maybe this generation is just like praising them and trying to be so hands-on to the point where the kid is like not going to be relying on themselves to make decisions.
Yeah, there's people our age and a little bit younger that struggle with making decisions.
Yeah.
And it's sad, but it can be difficult too to make big life-changing decisions. And if you can instill them in making some decisions for themselves at an early age, in theory it should be easier the older they get.
But see, so as the dad, and I guess kind of what I wanted to go back to was, as a dad, I feel like, at least back when I was still with my daughter's mother, I felt like it was my job to instill that independence in them. Like it was like her mom would be the one that would sort of like take care of her when, you know, she was sick or had, you know, was hurt. But then when she was with me, it was more fun. But it was also like I would let her climb to the top of the tree. I would let her to be like, okay, this is your shot. I'm going to watch over you, but like, you know, you're free to do what you need to do. It's like that kind of things that you try to do with your kids.
I think that comes down to personality, honestly, because my wife is more climb to the top of the tree.
And that is my point, too.
Stay closer to the ground. And I think that all comes back to your own upbringing as well, because I see in my mom, with my niece down, they live together with my niece, and they don't let her do anything. It feels like, and it's just like I feel sometimes like they're protecting her a little bit too much, and she's not getting some experiences, but that's how they decide how to raise their child. And I'm not going to step in and tell them, hey, you're doing it wrong.
Oh, yeah.
But it's more like my side of the family was more that protective, don't do that, you're going to get hurt. And my wife's side of the family is explore your boundaries and you'll be okay. A type of thing. Like, I'll be here to catch you if you fall, but go ahead and enjoy it. And I think, like I said, it comes down to personality traits. So when I'm at the park with my daughter and my son, I'm probably a little more than my wife, and I've gotten better at it. But
I think it's a beautiful thing of this podcast so far. It's like perspectives, like how you would do something with your kid is like something I don't perceive, but maybe my wife does, just because I think every dad's different. And I think you get the social norm with, like, cartoons ever since The Simpsons, that the dad is, like, the bumbling idiot, that the mom is raising the kid and the dad's selfish and in his own world. And you get, you know, even at Disney channels, you just get this, like, persona of what a dad is. And I don't know, that's just not true.
Well, see, and this is where...
That's why it's comedy. That's how they write the comedy sitcoms, is the dad's the moron and the mom knows it all. But let's be honest. Mothers are instinctively a little bit better at parenting sometimes.
Yeah. But that's the thing. It's because they're nurturing.
Yeah.
You can't say this like it's a fact, but I mean, moms are nurturing. They are the person from before the baby was born until after they nourish the baby. They're a nurturer. The dad is predominantly a disciplinarian.
Well, I think that changes, though. And my experience was actually quite funny, because once I became the single parent, and once I was the main parent and I was by myself, I actually took a big switch. All of a sudden, I was the dad that didn't do much and just kind of let my daughter do whatever, because I was like, well, she needs that freedom. But then when it all came down to me, I remember the first time I went to a large gathering of people. And I couldn't find my daughter. And it wasn't even like a large, it was like 20 people. But I'm like following her around now. And I was like freaking out because I didn't want to lose her or do anything like that.
She would have fell into the gorilla cage.
I know. My daughter would be the one to fall in the gorilla cage.
Take a moment of silence for Harmby.
Oh.
Jeez. I don't know if you want to know my stance on that.
But I think it does change, though, when you get a little bit past that. Once you get past the infant stage, and then the child actually comes up a little bit more, I think you're going to find, like, you yourself as a dad's going to, that it's not going to be the mom that's the nurturer all the time. Because I like I told you before, when I first met my daughter, I didn't feel that instant connection. But then it got to the point where, when she's not around me, I don't know what to do. So it's just like. Then it becomes like that. And I see that especially with like, you have a daughter, with guys and their daughters, if they're around them a lot, they get that connection with the girls, and they wanted the best for them, and they're trying to help them out a lot. And, I don't know how it is with your son, but, at least with my dad, my dad, loved my sister. But he was like real strict with her and like was always trying to make sure she was doing all right. But then when it came to me, I think he left for Mexico one time and forgot to tell me, and I was locked out of the house for a week. And I just came to the door and I was like, oh, I guess I'm going to stay with my cousin because I don't know how to get in the house. So that's literally how it went down for me.
Wow. Yeah.
My dad loves me to death, but I was just
Are
like...
you sure?
I do know, only because he forced me to move back in with him. But for a while there, I was kind of like, do I even matter? Kathy gets all the attention, and I missed it. I'm the one that fell through the roof, and he just got mad that I broke his hammer.
Yeah, exactly. It is going to be interesting as my kids get older to see how the relationships go. Because right now, I feel like I'm way more strict on my daughter, but not as strict on my son. But it's not because I love them any differently. Honestly, it's because my daughter needs a little bit more strictness, and my son is he's a calmer personality. He doesn't like to displease us, or however you say it. So he's kind of easier to just tell him, hey, don't do this, and he's going to listen.
He's like, all right, man.
When my daughter, if I tell her don't do this, she'll look at me in my eyes and do it.
Oh, yeah.
So
how can I get away with this?
yeah. So it's a different... I'm just curious to see as time goes on how their personalities grow and develop, and to see what they grow up into. So hopefully, because my wife and I always joke about our daughter will either be a CEO of a multi-billion-dollar company or a missionary. So we want to guide her missionary, but I don't know what my son will be, because he doesn't look anything like me, but he acts a lot like me. He's got my temperaments. He's got my... So
he's physically, I mean, looks like you. He's not like he doesn't look like the mailman or anything.
No. He looks more like my wife's brother, so it's definitely her genes in the family taking over, but he's got a lot of my personality, so there's no doubts at all.
Is that what they say, karma coming back at you?
Yeah.
Well, see, like that's the biggest problem with Adina right now is like she looks just like her mom, but she acts just like me, which is this problem because
I'm so sorry for her.
Yeah.
So what I want to ask you is, because this topic, dad versus mom, is in my situation in Austin's, we want it to be more mom and dad team, but with you being a single dad and being separated from mom, do you still want that team effort, or is it more, don't listen to your mom, listen to me?
Well, so in that aspect, I've come up with watching other people in this same situation. I've only ever seen bad things come from you going against the mom or you're talking bad about the mom. So even though I have my own personal opinions, I don't voice them to my daughter.
That's awesome.
I leave it to, all right, this is what I say. When you're over there, you gotta listen to your mom. And we have a lot of difference in ideas, and she's remarried, and then, she has to deal with her husband. I say, well, you gotta listen to them. You tell me anything that you want. We can talk about anything you want to talk about. If they do something that you're not comfortable with, or they say something to you you're not comfortable with, talk to me about it, and then we'll work it out. We'll figure it out. But I'm not. And I told my daughter, I'm not going to talk bad about your mom. I'm not going to argue with your mom about you. That's not what we're going to do here. You're not going to take either side. Now, whether her mom does that or not, that's none of my business. That's literally the way I have to see it. She can say anything she wants about me. I know what's going to end up happening. If you do that, the child is immediately always it's going to bite you in the butt.
They're going to play that game.
Yeah. So, but as far as it comes with me, I allow her, when she goes to her mom, I don't try to guilt her. I don't try to do anything. I'm like, okay, because we have a lot of different ideas as far as child raising go and how to treat her. But my daughter has taken a pretty positive outlook. She's always happy. She's always excited. She loves going to her mom's, but she loves living with me, and she gets more family with me because we live with my parents, and then, I'm really close to her parents still. So that's always a plus too. So I never try to keep her away from them. So I do keep certain boundaries up, but, as far as I never will say anything bad about her mom. And I feel like that's my team effort. That's the best I can do, considering that, her mom lives far away, so she's not always there to be able to deal with every situation. So I just do my part and, do my thing and allow them to go the other way. And Adina has taken that fairly well. I mean, there's always going to be times. I know when she gets into teenager years, it's going to be different, but...
Coming from divorced parents, you get sick of it. Even if you love both your parents, you're just like, I'm done.
Yeah.
Back and forth. This is old. I hate having to make sure my jeans are at my dad's house and my mom's jeans are at my mom's house.
Yeah.
This is your mom's duty to wash.
You know, it's like my mom's initials on the back of the tag on my jeans, my dad's initials on the back of my... You know what? Screw you guys. I'm going to go live with one or the other because I'm done.
And see, that's the thing I'm afraid of right there. I don't want to do that. I don't want to make my daughter have to do all this stuff where she has to...
You don't want to make it work.
I'm being over dramatic,
Yeah.
but it does get tiring. It gets tiring to the point where you're just like, I'm literally just going to choose one or the other to live full time and just visit the other. Because I'm getting to an age where I'm going to be moving out probably soon anyways. And...
Yeah. And at a certain age, you know, I'm not going to wait until my daughter's 18. I'll allow her to make certain decisions when she gets older because I feel like it is important for her to be independent in certain ways. But as for now, I tell her, like, you don't get to make the decision. You don't get to say that you're going to still stay at your mom's. You don't get to say that you're going to stay with me. Now, if your mom doesn't come pick you up, that's a different situation. But as far as it goes here, you don't get to make that call. If it's your mom's weekend, you have to go to your mom. That's it. There's no ands, if, or buts. And when it's time for you to come home, you have to come home. That's just how it's going to be.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all. That's my biggest suggestion. Now, granted, I only have a 7-year-old, so I don't know how this is going to turn out. But this is the experiment of life, and I'm trying my best. She's probably going to hate me anyways.
Now,
she's too much like me.
Now, Casey, you have a little boy.
Yeah.
How old is he?
He'll be 4 in December.
Okay, so he's well potty trained, right? Or what age do we potty train our kids?
Oh, that's a whole other.
All right, next episode.
Yeah. No, yeah, I would say he's 98%.
Does he stand up at all, being a boy?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay. Have you ever seen online that they sell...
Oh, yes, we saw this earlier today.
Boy training urinals. Little boy training urinals.
That's awesome.
I'm getting one. I'm going to get one.
Are you guys having a boy?
Yeah, we are.
Oh,
Sorry.
Cool.
Check your phone. Check your phone.
So we were looking. There's this one where it's this frog, and he has a giant mouth, and in the middle is supposed to be his tongue, and he has a little. It's a little spinny thing, so the boy is trained to aim at the center of the.
Oh, that's messed up.
Frog's throat. No, okay.
You have to on the
wait.
You have to post this picture.
Okay, wait. So, what I think would be awesome too is like I do really want to get that urinal to train a boy to like, all right, this is how you stand up pee because you can't do that on the toilet in here.
Step stool.
Yeah,
that's all you need.
But that's not as fun.
Yeah, that's true. It depends on how he takes to it.
But I mean, separately, in my research of trying to look at different types, this product came out. And I'm gonna be honest. It says it's for camping. But
oh, okay.
But
why don't you just pee on the ground if we're camping?
God, yes.
This is not for camping. This is for Walmart.
I literally have. Let me see if I can find the picture.
Camping car travel.
I am almost 90% sure this is supposed to attach to your keyring.
There's a bracelet.
And in a case of emergencies, if your little boy is like, Daddy pee-pee.
I'm telling you, those boys freak out.
Hold on. Okay, well, for the listeners, let's explain this product. This product is it's a beautiful plastic portable emergency pee container.
Is that supposed to be an elephant?
Oh, yeah.
The lid has the elephant, and the snout is protruding upwards so that you can...
In cone shaped.
So you
I was trying to go, is it tapered, or would that be what's the opposite of tapered?
Tapered would be when it would be closing in. Yeah. Cone shape would be it's going outwards.
Okay.
The boy you're able to hold it up as the picture indicates. Like, come on, Dad, put that canister right there. And he's able to emergency pee into the canister. No.
I'm going to tell you, if you're in the car and your son has to have an emergency pee, which we've had this happen, so he was freaking out so bad it honestly sounded like he was in labor pain. I looked in my mirror, he's got his feet in the air, freaking out. Just, grunting. So I'm like, we're maybe 2 miles away from where we're going to be. I'm like, we'll get there. It's fine. Just hold it. And my wife's like, you need to stop. I'm like, we're almost there. She's like, and he is full out freaking out. So I'm like, okay, fine. We just pulled over, got him out of the car, and he peed in the grass, in the ditch. That's what you do. You don't need an elephant cup that you have to hold up to your son for him to pee into. And have the chance of the pee getting on your hand.
I mean, just let's think about the logistics there. So your wife is probably sitting up front with you, right?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So, and is he like right behind her?
He's behind me.
He's behind you. Okay, so at least you can reach over there. But that requires that this kid has to undo the car seat.
And the parentheses, make sure to let you know it's for a boy.
He has to undo his pants, undo the car seat, then aim into this cup as your wife's holding it, and pray to God that we do not hit a bump or have to take a swerve.
Picture the kid, and he's just like, yeah.
And I'm sure
he's in that stance with his arm
on his back.
Ty would be probably freaking out during this. This sounds like this is not a product that helps anyone.
So what I think is, what does it teach a kid? You got this like, look, kids, pee in my mouth. But what do you come home and like you go in your room and the cat's in there and the kid's trying to pee in the cat's mouth?
Oh.
Like, what are you doing, son? They're teaching our kids.
That would happen. Yeah.
Well, boys will be boys. And it probably would have happened without the whole knowledge of peeing in an elephant's trunk, but
I love you, you love me.
Come
and pee in my mouth, you see.
He's got the whole like jingle down. Wow. I just don't see a situation where you would need to use that. Like, you could pull off to the side of the road. Even if you have to, like, pee on a corner of a street. Like, if it's a kid, you can understand.
Everybody understands, yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
I gotta look up some of these
Because little
reviews.
kids, just forewarning, Austin, little kids tend to tell you when they have to go to the bathroom about 2 minutes after they are at immediate danger.
Oh, once you're in the danger zone.
I was thinking about it, and sorry, Dad. It's now or never. I apologize.
I think that would be
we were with a group in a car, and his daughter goes, "Dad, I gotta go to the bathroom. I have to poop." And he's like, "Can you wait a little bit?" She goes, "No, I think I did a little already."
Oh.
And he just is like, "What?" So we make a beeline to a gas station, and she didn't end up messing herself, but that's the warning they give you. It's now
it turns into 24.
You gotta remember, there's not as much intestines on their end as you as an adult.
All right.
So they don't got as much runway.
This just in, they make it for girls too.
Oh, no.
It's red for girls.
That's bad.
I want to see the customer reviews for this.
People have bought it?
It's got 4.7 out of 5 stars.
People from California, guarantee it.
Here's one. I absolutely love this thing. I never leave home without it. It has saved us in subways en route.
Subways, I can see that.
Okay.
You don't want your kid peeing on the subway floor.
All right, yeah.
But in the corner, do you just tell excuse me, mister, my child has to take a pee-pee. Whip it out, son.
I imagine on a subway they see much worse things.
That's true.
There's a grown man like, can I have that one on?
The fact that someone is having there to catch their child's urine is much better than letting the kid pee onto the floor.
But no need to scramble to the nasty public toilets or find private corners.
Well, see, I guess that's in our
This
area.
covers the jewels and the locks tight.
We're not in a hugely urban area, so we don't deal with subway travel. We don't deal with...
That's true.
So
but
for us, it's very ridiculous. But for some people, if you think about it, in that situation, being on a subway...
I do not like the idea of like, oh, in case you have to deal with those nasty public bathrooms. Look, public bathrooms are a thing. Deal with it. I've been in some gross bathrooms, but guess what? It's either that or nothing. You need to train your kid now,
deal with it.
I have been in
it's
some
part of life.
we have been in some truck stops, my friend.
You ever realize like a lake? Like if you're near like a big lake,
yes.
Just let it go, man.
it's always wet.
Yes.
Everywhere in the bathroom.
There's anytime I've been to like and I guess we never went to the fancy lakes. We went to like the redneck lakes.
There's
and all
fancy
that.
lakes, and
There's fancy.
I never knew there was a difference.
I didn't know there was a difference until I had gotten married. And my in-laws, who make buku more bucks than me, they have like these nice crystal lakes. Mine were always like green and scummy. we weren't allowed in the fancy lakes, but the bathrooms in the scummy lakes are worse than the lake, and there's always like a 9-foot spider, and you have to make a decision. It's either I'm going to poop or I'm going to get bit by the spider. And so it's like sometimes you got to risk it, And that's when you learn. That's how you learn control.
Yeah.
So that when you're on that 2-hour car drive, you know how to hold it.
Yeah. Very true.
Oh, that's just so disturbing.
My 2-year-old son has some chunky legs.
Chunky legs. What does that have to do with that?
No.
So when he sits on the potty, I have to take his pants off one leg for him. With this cup, he is able to go pee without having to sit on the gross public restroom seats. It's also good to keep in the car while potty training. I haven't had any issues with this cup leaking.
Whoa.
My son has chubby legs.
You are not teaching your son how to use the bathroom properly. If he needs to, is he like complete? Is he that one kid that drops him all the way down?
At first, when you potty train a little boy, it's sitting.
Obviously, yeah.
Yes, because he's got to be able to do what he's got to do.
You got to level up. You got to get some experience points.
You can't just go without the training wheels and just expect for the best.
So, if you got a child that small, when potty training, it is difficult. You do have to remove their pants all the way so they can spread their legs wide enough to aim.
Right.
Trying to word this as delicately as possible.
Right, but it's the truth.
Yeah, it's the bitter truth. You have to take their pants all the way off. Or apparently this person's mastered one leg. Might as well just take it all the way off. So, chubby legs or no chubby legs, that's what you got to do.
Just the logistics is killing me on this. Oh my goodness. Well, all right. America. Leading innovation.
Was it first world problems?
First world problems.
Yeah.
I guarantee you, I never, when we were in Mexico, we never had this problem.
You don't remember Mexico.
Oh, I went when I was a kid quite a few times.
Okay.
But yeah, nobody was carrying an elephant to pee in. Those for sure. If you messed your pants, you just went without pants, and you learned the lesson that way.
Yeah.
When you were bottomless, walking down the street home, and your mom mad.
So, I listened to your guys' first podcast. Do you plan on cutting the umbilical cord?
I think I'd like to. I don't know why, though. I haven't
Yeah.
researched why or not.
Yeah.
It just seems like the thing to do. Did you?
Nope, not with either of them.
See?
And it was
And you didn't either.
No, I know. I was like, so I'm not the only one. All right.
well, it was funny too because when my daughter was born, the doctor was like, "Dad, you want to cut the cord?" And I said, "Nope." He was like, "Come on, I've never had a dad not cut the cord." And I was like, "Well, today's a first for you."
Congratulations, you shook the doctor's hand.
Yeah. And I guess for me it was I didn't want to feel the feeling of cutting through the cord. Yeah, you know how that would feel, right?
Oh, yeah, because it doesn't cut like scissors. Like it's like kind
What if it's not quite cutting, so you have to do that thing where you're like...
scissors? Have you ever cut chicken with scissors?
Oh, God.
Like a chicken breast.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. No,
Yeah.
I've never had to.
So that's immediately what I thought of what it would be like cutting chicken.
What
with
if you
scissors.
don't cut it right the first time? You're just mutilating it like... Get.
Yeah. So I mean,
You don't embarrass yourself in front of the nurse and the doctors.
I almost passed out during the first delivery. Yep.
See, I was like a cheerleader in the background. I'm like, "You're doing great," and just looking at me.
Your
like,
head pops in the door like, keep going.
No, I wasn't allowed to leave. Like they blocked me from leaving, so I had to sit there, and I'm just
Did you want to
I'm
leave?
gonna go get
I wanted to. I didn't want to be there the whole time.
I'm out.
Maybe want some Fritos?
Yeah.
I'll go grab some coffee.
Oh, I kept going snack runs and everything, and my sister kept blocking me. She's like, "I'll go get those." I was like, "Oh, great."
I think it's different for every guy. You'd be surprised. Have you guys done any classes yet?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Like Le Mans?
Le Mans or whatever they call them.
Le Mans is... No, I haven't yet.
Are you planning on it?
I don't think so.
Yeah. Okay. I mean,
Did you?
yeah, we did some.
I think
How
it's
was
whatever.
it? Was it helpful?
Yes and no. they show some disturbing videos. But that gets you in the mindset of
oh my god,
helping your wife breathe and trying to be there for her. It's difficult because you can go in, you guys probably have an idea of how things are going to go. It's not going to go that way at all. Just so you know. And
dear honey, sir, my water had broke. Let's proceed to the hospital. We're there. Okay.
Yeah. First kid was induced with Tylen. And then the second one, she didn't want to be induced because that's awful. If you guys can avoid it, avoid it.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Doctor will probably push for it because they're weird like that. They like to run on schedules, which babies don't.
And if it doesn't induce, or if you don't want to, they're going to push C-sections as a popular thing we've learned.
Really?
Yeah,
they
with
don't
my
like natural birth.
Her sister was the same way. It's just like you almost have to persuade him, like, let's just keep going at the...
Well,
it just depends on the doctor, but...
Well, your wife is smaller, though.
Yeah.
And all she's, like, really thin and all that. So I would imagine they're probably just trying to... Because the smaller you are, the harder it is.
But this was just this is probably a topic from another time, but we did talk about that. It's popular. I mean, it's a common, for at least in our area, that for doctors to push inducing or C-sections.
Yeah, so
whether it makes more money or just quicker, I don't know.
Do what you think is best for you. Your doctors... With the first doctor we had, we felt that doctor had great bedside manner. But when it came to the part where we wanted that doctor to be on their game, she wasn't... Our doctor that was through the whole process of the pregnancy didn't even deliver the baby. She pushed for the induction, and she wasn't even there. So it was... I think it was the day or 2 days before the due date that she pushed for the induction of our daughter, and it was a very rough thing for my wife. The Pitocin, I think it's called Pitocin.
I remember the name, yeah, but
but they kept upping it, and it just was so painful. My wife really didn't want to do an epidural, but that whatever they use to induce labor makes labor pains insanely painful. So she got an epidural. And it was like a 17-hour ordeal. I think it was 17 hours. It was really long. And we were 14, something like that. And she got her epidural, and it was like the stress level in the room before the epidural was like 1,000. Mm-hmm. Then the stress level after the epidural was like 2.
Oh, yeah.
So I went down to talk to my family and everybody. I'm like, hey, she just got an epidural. Things have calmed down. She's doing a lot better comfort-wise. And then her sister came running in. It's time. And I was like, holy cow. So we went in there, baby was born, didn't cut the cord. But with the second one, Declan, she wanted to do all natural, didn't want to be induced, so she went with a midwife. Mm-hmm. But we did the midwife at the hospital.
We have that option, I think, with our hospital. We picked a program, I think, where it's like you get a doctor, but you can also have a midwife with her as well.
You come rolling in on a Corvette.
So we went with the midwife, and she was very agreeable to, we went past the due date with Declan, and so it was much more natural. So we went to the doctor in the morning. It was a Tuesday morning, and she was dilated to a point where the nurse was like, you would be admitted to the hospital right now, but we suggest you just go home in labor. You'll know when you guys need to get going in. So this was when I worked at Serval, and I got up at like 4 in the morning, and it was like 10 o'clock, and my wife wasn't acting that in distress. So I was like, I'm going to go catch a nap. Wake me up in an hour. We'll see how things are. She wakes me up in an hour. Or my alarm goes off on my phone, and she's like right there. She's like, we need to go. I was like, okay. I was thinking, why didn't you wake me?
Yeah, you could have woken me up and we could have gone.
So we get in the car. We have to take Tylen to Grandma's. And we need gas. So I get gas, take Tylen to Grandma's, go to the hospital. By the time we get to the hospital, she's dilated at a 9.
What does that mean?
10 is when you start pushing.
Oh my god.
So she was ready.
She was ready. And so the two differences, though, compared to being induced and even the close call with the natural way, if your wife can go natural, I would just totally
Well, they
we
Totally
weren't planning
recommend
on
that.
it.
they've come out with a bunch of articles and stuff saying that inducing labor, like sometimes those kids
Stresses
need
the
those.
baby.
Yeah, they need those extra couple days. Like
Yeah, we
it's
went-
not like cookie cutter where 9 months are always exactly right. Like it's biology. There's never anything
Yeah,
that's
we went
always
through
so
a similar
exact.
situation with her sister, and it was a bad experience. And
Oh yeah, I
kinda
remember
just,
that. Yeah.
Kind of just
And
like taught us to like, oh, it doesn't need to. There's no reason.
The due date's a guess date anyway.
Yeah,
It's not set in stone. It's because they don't exactly know when she got pregnant,
right.
and they don't. So
You don't know when the baby's ready either.
yeah,
Exactly. So yeah, just try to wait. Now, granted, if you're like month 12, you're having an elephant, so you need to get that sucker out.
12 months. Has any woman ever gone that long?
I don't know of any. But
Where
I'm
did you
sure,
pull this number out of?
I'm just saying. I'm
Kid
sure-
comes out, hey mom, what's up?
Have you
Oh
seen-
man, it's so hot in there.
So hot in there.
Have you seen those pictures of those 16-pound
Hey, Daddy,
babies?
what's up?
Comes out with a mustache. You get
Oh,
birth to a
man.
teenager.
Clearly, you've never seen that bit on Saturday Night Live with Will Ferrell.
Oh no! Blew right
man.
past me on that one. Wow, so we got a lot of fun stories in this one. We're gonna have to cut it off today. Hopefully, Casey can come back and do another one with us. But that's our general one for this week's episode. I don't know what it's gonna be titled as, but I do want to make a shout out to Brad Kelsey, who allowed us to use his song for the intro and the closing. And once again, please check out Carguments on YouTube, on Facebook.
We'll have
and-
everything on there just so you can click on it. Makes it easier than having to listen to us how to spell it and then type
Yeah,
it in.
it's weird when you think Carguments, you think it's arguments with a C in front of it, and for some reason that locks people's brains up. So I didn't think of that when I was making the name.
Yeah, it was like you guys were arguing about things, and no, it was just informal.
That was the goal when I started it, honestly, was I wanted to have like a co-host and we would have different opinions on the cars.
It could evolve. You never know.
Eventually, yeah, but to be honest, people think you can make a lot more money on YouTube than what you really can. So
Only if you have like 8 million followers, then
Yeah.
like maybe you can make a
then-
pretty
then
penny.
you can
But
make a good living. But I told my buddy that I have in mind to be my co-host. I won't ask him to be my co-host till I can pay him. So that'll probably never happen.
no, yes.
So yeah,
I don't know what you're talking about. We're going to be famous after this episode.
this is a brilliant episode. You know that.
We have 20 views on YouTube. We're going to lose
2
one
views and
somehow.
3 likes. And 2 of them are from my mom and my sister.
So that's all of them. Then.
One of them is going to go call YouTube and ask how they can retract their view.
Oh.
I don't want this to count.
Anyways, we really appreciate you coming on the show.
No, it was good fun. I've been wanting to see how a podcast goes down, and you guys have a pretty cool setup.
Thanks.
So eventually, I hope to do a podcast, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Well, let us know, and we'll.
I would
love
be
to
definitely
plug in
love
and
to
try
listen to
it.
that.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
All right. Well, you guys have a good one. I'm your idiot dad, Austin.
I'm Miguel.
I'm Casey.
You guys have a wonderful night.